Said many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty
question. Please go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two questions.
No, it's okay.
But you pointed to me. I have two questions, Mr. President.
Next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the young lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague finish,
Okay.
but can I ask you
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Because apparently we needed another example of Trump crumbling when confronted with strong women. To be clear about what happened here, Trump told CBS's Weijia Jiang to, quote, ask China why he thinks that testing is a global competition before punishing CNN's Caitlin Collins for allowing Jiang to finish asking her question by storming out of the press conference. I'll just say this, thank God we didn't get stuck with some emotional woman as president. Now, Weijia Jiang's question was spot on in the sense that Trump's metrics for success have nothing to do with actual American lives lost, but rather whatever superlative he can get his hands on. In this case, Trump is bragging that the US is testing more than any other country in the world. Only A, we should be looking at testing per capita, and using that metric, we're not testing the most in the world. We're not testing the second most in the world. We're not testing the third most in the world. We're currently ranked 34th in the world, just ahead of Belarus. So I'm not sure we should be climbing atop the podium for our medal just yet. And B, it's May. We should have done this literal months ago like South Korea did. The reason people talk about South Korea is because they implemented testing quickly, and as a result, they contain the spread. So they don't need to ramp up testing to 1 million tests a day because they actually got their outbreak under control when it mattered. That's not to say testing isn't important now, because it obviously is, but I'm not sure why Trump is trying to throw himself a parade for something that was only made necessary by his own slow response. The metric here, in the richest and most prosperous country on the face of the earth, clearly should not be winning this global competition that no one other than Trump seems to be playing. It should be saving American lives. I mean, the fact that he's out there with this George W. Bush-style mission accomplished banner, celebrating the number of tests while he has more than 80,000 dead Americans on his hands is just psychotic. And look, that's not to say that we can't look to other countries to see what's working, and in fact we should, but this isn't the Olympics, and we're not looking to beat any other country. We all share the same goal, which is to keep as many of our citizens alive as possible. But because Trump can only think in terms of his perverted notion of winning, he's not concerned about mourning the loss of life, but rather patting himself on the back for beating other countries in terms of the number of tests. And of course it's telling that Trump can't manage to answer that question beyond demanding that Weijia Jiang, quote, ask China. Although, I'm not sure why we would ask China why Trump isn't capable of acknowledging the loss of American lives. Although it shouldn't come as a surprise, because this entire response has been predicated on passing the buck. He's blamed Obama for supposedly leaving him broken tests for a virus that didn't exist until 3 years after he was out of office. He's blamed Democratic governors for implementing stay-at-home orders intended to keep people safe. He's blamed the southern border despite the fact that Mexico has had just over 3,000 deaths in the entire country versus 80,000 here. And so of course he's blaming China. And that's not to say that China isn't at fault for suppressing information about the virus at the beginning, because they are. But by that same logic, Trump is at fault for doing the exact same thing once it got here. And so rather than acknowledge this point, rather than respond to Weijia Jiang, he not only barreled through her, but then punished Caitlin Collins for committing the cardinal sin of allowing Miss Jiang to finish speaking. Because it's not about getting information out to the American people, it's not about recognizing the role of a free press in our society, it's about kowtowing to his ego. It's him feeling personally offended by being held to account, and so he decided to take his ball and go home. And so to be honest, we really don't need to have him answer these reporters' questions, because in effect, he told us everything we needed to know just with his behavior at the lectern.